Hi, I'm Steve with Engage Systems, and today we're going to have a look at Salesforce CPQ Quote Line Editor. If you're just interested in the basics of generating a quote with Salesforce CPQ, there's a separate video for that, and I'll put the link to it in the comments below. So, what I've done here is I've got the same quote loaded in two different orgs. The one at the top is fairly standard, sort of out of the box version. The one below is customized, just so I can run you through the changes you can make to get the quote line editor working exactly as you need for your business. So, the first thing to look at on the quote line editor is we have here the default fields that apply to the whole of the quote. So for example, this subscription term, if you don't enter any other subscription term for the subscription lines on the quote, that is the subscription term it will be. So if I change that to 24 months and do a calculate, we can see the value of this warranty line has gone up because it's now for 2 years, so it's doubled in price, £10 for 1 year, £20 for 2. If I was to add any other subscription lines to this quote, they would by default pick that up. I can, however, go into the lines by using the drop down bar there, and I can individually go and change this for this particular line to be 36 months. If I hit calculate now, you'll see the price on the quote change. Up here we have quick save and calculate. Calculate will recalculate the total of the quote, but won't write it to the system. So if you're making changes, you can easily see them as they're happening. If you're working through your pricing, trying to get it exactly right, maybe working through discounts. If I change that to 24 months, now if I do quick save, it will recalculate, but it will also write it to the system. However, it will leave us in the quote. If I do save, it will save it to the system, but we'll go back, we'll come out of the edit lines, the quote line editor that we're in now. So basically when you've finished your task, you save, and if you want to undo anything, you just hit cancel. We have, again up here, a discount option. So if I put in 10% discount here, you'll see a 10% discount come off each of these line items. So if I hit calculate, you'll see that happening. Now that doesn't stop me having a different discount for, say, the router line. So if I change that to 5% and calculate, you'll see what it does is this overrides on this line. So this line has a 5% discount to 95, and every other line has the 10% discount. What it doesn't do is to sort of add them together, so you don't end up with 15% off, for example. So, as I say, this is the sort of fairly standard out of the box version. And then if we look down here, this is one where we've made some changes just to dial it into our particular business and use case. So the first thing you'll notice different between these two is the columns we have here. The subscription term, it was available to us, but we had to do the line item draw, open it to get to that change. If you were working regularly with changing subscription terms, you might want that on the actual line so that you can just change it from there. I can change that to, it's already at 24 months, I can override the 24 months and change it to 12. Hit calculate, you'll see that price come down. Even the draw is changeable. If we look at it here, you'll see we've got a lot more options than if we look at the draw on this quote. So you can change those to fit your business and only be bringing up the bits that are useful, and also making sure that you've got front and center and changeable what you need. The other change here is the optional, which you could get to here through the drawer, but again, this is just bringing it front and center so you can make the changes easily. The other change we've got is along these buttons at the top. You can see these are the default ones, and then we've added some in. So now that we've compared the two, I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. You can see it clearly, and we'll just work through what some of these buttons and bits do here. So the first thing I've got here is a competition check. So this button's been set up to open up a URL. This could go to something internal to the Salesforce system or an external. As an example here, I've just done it to our Engage Systems website, to the home page, but this could go to a product configurator. And also these buttons can be conditional, so depending on what's happening with the quote in terms of value or products added, you could have these buttons appear or disappear depending on how you set that up. The other thing we've added here is another button for add warranty. Add products is there by default, and we've done the add warranty. So if I click the add warranty now, rather than going to a full product list, what we're going to is a filtered product list. So it's filtering just to products by warranty. If we select warranty, we can add that back into the quote. Come up on 2 lines now. You can delete individual lines, but you also have the option to check multiple check marks and then use delete lines up here to delete them multiple lines at once. The other option that we have up here, which is by default on the quote line editor, is groupings. When you group, you can break your quote up into logical parts for the customer to see. You might have hardware. You might have another section that was purely for optional services, say. And then we could go into the add warranty there. We could do all the things that we could do when we had a single group on the quote. So we've got the warranty again. You can see here we've got a new group now, and we can change these fields as we need to. Do the drop down draw as we did before. And you'll notice also we get the subscription term. So the subscription term here applies to everything in this group on the quote. The subscription here is the default for all the groups on the quote, but this would allow you, makes it very easy to break up and do different things in different areas of the quote, highlight things to the customer, make things nice and simple. The other thing to note here is if you have an optional product, you can have various business rules associated with that, but by default, if you mark a line as optional, it won't go into the forecast quantity into the value of the opportunity, so it won't roll up into forecasts. So if you've got something on there that's a line you're offering to the customer but is a default offer, not something they particularly need or have a use case for, or that you may not be selling to them, you can mark that optional, and that won't overinflate your forecast.